Well, good day everybody. 17th today. I'm doing a lot of videos as you noticed, and it's minus 10, so it's not so bad. This morning I got up, it was around minus 17. Well, minus 10 is not so nice either, but I got off on the stop at Kopaliska. It's 10:30 in the morning, and I'm not going to Russian classes at the moment. I'm just taking sort of a break. And I think what I'm going to do is switch because, well, I don't know. I don't want to get into the reasons why I'm not going to. It's not that I don't want to say it in case some people see this, but it's a little bit different. And part of the reason is because I'm having a difficult time. I'm not that great at languages. I'm good at other things, so I'm not any dummy. And we have a guy in there that's actually really good. He was around the same level as I am when he came in, but he catches on things really, really well. So some people that are good in mathematics, they catch on certain things really well, like the grammar and things, which is where I have the little bit of difficulty. But besides that, they're not that good, but they can understand some grammar. And it's like, wow, this is weird. But it's kind of like a little bit different with me. And this class is mostly centering on grammar, and not really speaking. As you notice, I can't really speak that well, and even the teacher says that we're all pretty damn good in grammar, but our speaking ability isn't that great because they haven't been concentrating on that. That was not my purpose actually to take this class, but apparently that's all you get. It's mostly grammar. You don't unless you take some private lessons, they don't concentrate so much on speaking. Yeah, that's a sad thing because I don't know, but I did want to learn some grammar, certainly, but just not grammar rammed down your throat with I don't know. There's no real way out of that. Even if you don't go to classes, because a lot of young people, you can get a girlfriend or something like that. It's not really any option that I have that you can girlfriend that doesn't speak too much of your native language, and then you're kind of forced to learn quite a bit. But yeah, it's a big effort to try to actually learn, and especially in a country. It's not like the old days. And when I was in Germany, in the old days, they didn't have cell phones. And today, you can't just say something to people because everybody's wrapped up in their cell phones. They're down there like this the whole time, and you don't want to disturb them either. I'm a person, I don't like to disturb people. I like my freedom and don't want people to be bothering me so much. Yeah, when somebody is not crazy or something and they ask me questions, I don't mind that at all. But in other cases, and like I remember in the trains in Germany, somebody can be walking and, sitting down and they're looking at a newspaper. You can interrupt somebody, reading a newspaper because they can just go right back to the newspaper. It's a little bit different with cell phones. And Belarusian people, they're not like Americans. Like in America, you stand in line and you can just start talking to this person. Oh, what kind of weather we have and all that sort of a deal. Germany is not. They're a little bit more bottled up than the Americans, but in Belarus they're actually more bottled up. So you have to maybe have a feel for it, and maybe you have to be the right kind of person to be interrupting people and then start up conversations, things like that. But to do that, you have to be speaking Russian. So how am I going to learn or get to know people in order to speak Russian when I don't already know Russian? It's kind of a catch-22. But anyway, let's get into some news now. I'll tell you. Yesterday, I was mentioning, it was kind of like a breaking news when I started out that video. It was, I think his name is Keith Kellogg. As a matter of fact, he's related to the Kellogg company. Somebody's got my backpack on there. But same one I have. But he's related to that. But I explained some things about him a little bit yesterday, but I saw a little bit more of this interview that he was having with somebody when he was putting out some information. It was really kind of, in a way, shocking, because he's basically saying that the United States, their hope or their objective is to is to split Russia away from their alliances with these countries such as China and North Korea and Iran. And it's like saying that on video, and this is before this meeting, and it's actually supposed to happen tomorrow. There's going to be two big meetings tomorrow, with politicians, and one of them is going to be in Paris, and it's Macron called this emergency meeting, as you know, and they're trying to figure out, the fallout and what they're going to do about Trump, and how are they going to keep, in truth, what they're going to do is how do they keep the war in Ukraine going? They want to keep the war going. And obviously, Zelensky, he does and he doesn't. If he can't get the war settled, and get everything that he wants, then he wants the war to keep going, even if he's losing. It makes you really wonder. And in truth, Europe is losing, but they don't care. It's like, well, we don't really care about our economies and our people. It's like, well, what? I don't. I'm at a loss as to what they really do care about. And I think the people in Europe are really pissed off. There's a lot of protests, as you know, because they sense that and they see that. J.D. Vance, of course, he sort of hinted on that in his little speech at the Munich conference on the first day a couple of days ago. And it's like, I don't know. But I'm not saying that the Trump administration has got all the people's hearts and minds in their mind, and that's what they're trying to do, because that's not really true either. You only have to look at what's going on in the Middle East, and it's, of course, a completely different story. And maybe what they're doing in Russia, with Russia and this Ukraine thing, is to make it look like they I don't know, that they're making big concessions by kind of dumping Europe and their supposed alliances to Europe, and in exchange for that, Russia has to dump their alliances. That's just a thought. I don't know. So, okay, now let me get to the cards here. If I can find card number 1. Where's number 1 at? To make sure I don't forget a lot of this information. These things are all messed up. Hang on a second here. Put this down on the snow. It's hard to do everything with one hand, Okay. Okay. Well, I'll start out in the things I wrote down with Kaja Kallas. I mentioned that yesterday. I had that little short video, which was mentioning that it was kind of like a breaking thing because it was just put out, and now Russia has responded to Kaja Kallas. And I didn't take such a big note on the part that she said that no Russian civilians are dying. And of course, Russia has lost a lot of civilians. And you could say the Donbass people, of course, originally they lost, nearly 14,000, 13,700 or 800 or something like that before the military operation started. And of course, they've been losing them since then. And of course, Russia incorporated, Lugansk and Donetsk into their territory, and the other two, Kherson and Zaporozhye, or whatever it is. Anyway, but not counting that, they've lost a lot of people, like in Kursk. And I saw some footage on television here over in this area, and they were showing Kursk, and it looks like in the Donbass, houses completely destroyed, bombed and things. And you hear about all of the tortures and the killing that they killed lots of, I guess it's a pretty large area. And of course, Ukraine is really wiping out those people. And a lot of men, of course, they go into like the towns there, and Russia's slowly kicking them out. And of course, they go into the towns, and one of the first things they do is they kill all the men, and they rape all the young girls and all that, the Ukrainians. And there's a lot of evidence of that. And even Ukrainian soldiers that are captured, they admit that that's what's happening. So, and then they have them on videotape saying this. So it's not like Kaja Kallas says that the Ukrainians are the big angels, and that a lot of these other people, should die and all that kind of crap. So anyway, these are, like I say, these are, in truth, mentally, these are Nazis. These are Nazi people, and they want to see the death of certain types of ethnic races, and that's Nazism. That's Nazism. It's even beyond racism. I'll tell you something here. Let me show you. Like there's other buildings too, and I've seen it maybe even in this area. But a lot of time when there's people that are famous, maybe they've done some sort of contributions to Belarus or society, and they put plaques on buildings. I don't think not in the USA they definitely do not do it to the extent that they do it here. Like these sometimes are doctors, you know, that did a lot of work and treated people and, you know, did a lot of you know, good for humanity and things like that. It's a completely different society over here than in the West, when everything in the West is judged by how much money you made and how famous you became, you know, how wealthy and powerful, and then you get a plaque put up to you, you know, maybe you get statues erected to you, things like that. And like they said, you know, if you murder somebody, if you murder one or two people, you know, you go to prison, you might get the death penalty. But if you murder lots and lots of people, then you get a statue put up to you in the West, for the most part. You know, with the exception of old Adolf over there, because, you know, he was apparently on their side, and then he, you know, he decided he wanted to go on his own. You know, good old Adolf. I mean that sarcastically, by the way. You know, after what I said yesterday, people may not believe that. I can't remember what this is. I think it's a theater over here. I'm not a cultural guy anyway, so I'm not into that sort of thing. Kalliakalis, I talked a little bit about her. Oh, one thing I keep forgetting to say about her is what she also said in this little interview is that the Russians need to be bombed in their homes. They need to, you know, the West needs to bomb their homes and kill them while they're in their homes. So maybe that's a double whammy. You can destroy a lot of property, which they're doing, and they're killing people while they're in their homes. And that's exactly what Ukraine is doing. And she's saying, oh, none of them are dying. And Maria Zakharova was really pissed off about that. You know, and she says, how can you allow these countries into peace talks when on the premise of everything they do is based on lies? So, which is true. Okay. Yes. But because she got that peace prize, it makes you really wonder that, you know, they're awarding, I mean, she got a prize. I don't know if I mentioned that in the last video, but one of the, Renata, one of the subscribers, she put a link in, I think, the last video, and you guys can see that, and it's Kalliakalis getting an award, and it's like getting an award for saying that they should kill Russians. I mean, it's like, you know, unless you know where their mindset is at. I don't know, sick West. I think, like Vance, and they're Trump, they're all talking about that, I guess, right now. Yeah. Vance was saying, well, why should the citizens of Europe be trusting their leaders? You know, and then, you know, then them having this meeting starting tomorrow in Paris, you know, is only a display of that. How are they going to keep this war going? How are they going to keep killing more Ukrainians and Russians, killing the Slavic peoples? Boy, you know, that's probably their main goal. I'm kind of ducked in here because it's snowing. You guys probably can't see that. Another thing, I didn't catch this, and I heard about it yesterday, and then I don't know why they didn't announce it earlier, but J.D. Vance, Vice President of the United States, you know, I don't know, maybe it was the same day even when he had that little speech there in the Munich conference, but he met with Alice Weidel, who is the leader of the AfD party, and he didn't meet with Schultz. And obviously, I think I said, once somebody in Vance's party of people divulged that why should they meet with Schultz, he's on his way out anyway, and of course he is. You know, the election's in 1 week, and Schultz is going to be voted out. There's no doubt about that. A lot of people are saying that Merz is going to win, and I think it's going to be a big surprise that I don't know if you know, Germany normally has a more complicated voting system. It's a little more difficult to cheat on the vote, not like America where it's really easy to cheat on the vote, and they actually do, which apparently they didn't on this last vote. But they only started to cheat, and then I guess they gave up right away. I don't know. Really strange, the last vote. But anyway, yeah. In truth, Trump was definitely he won the election before that, but they cheated for Biden. Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to say that probably on YouTube. But Mertz, you know, in this, I saw there was a, what do you say? It was a debate, and it was all these people that are running for chancellor. There was Habeck, who is the finance minister right now in this coalition with the SDP, and I think they kicked the FDP out, but the SDP is in a coalition still, I guess, with the Green Party, and that's one reason why the government collapsed. So that's one reason why they called the election. And so, what's happening? Let me get to this movie. It's like I'm walking with somebody. So they had this debate, and every time Alice Weidel was trying to talk, she was interrupted by either these other candidates, Schultz or Mertz, who is for the CDU. A lot of people are saying that the Mertz is going to win this election, and like I said, it's in 1 week, 6 days, I believe, the 23rd of February. And but every time Weidel was trying to speak, they kept interrupting her. That includes the moderators of this thing, which was RTL, you know, the network RTL in Germany. So they're still really working against her, and I don't know if it's even possible, because she was even attacked by the CDU, but the CDU, I think they said that they would go into a coalition with the AfD, mostly because of the fact that now the CDU is finally going against this mass migration into Germany because of too many people getting killed or shot, and it makes them look bad. You know, they might change their mind if they can possibly get somebody else. But Alice Weidel was even saying that after you hear Mertz talking, that he's against the AfD, as the other parties are. They say it's right wing, but they don't like this newcomer party. Well, right wing, I guess what that means is, and they're trying to say somehow that they're like Nazis or something like that. But as you know, in the real truth, if you're watching news and you see how things are actually working out, they are the Nazis. The other parties are much more closely aligned to what Nazis are, as Alice Weidel is. So that's pretty obvious. And Alice Weidel wants to make friends with all of the major nations in the world, these power nations, and these other parties, you know, that, you know, they want to make enemies. They want to send weapons to Ukraine and keep the war going. Sounds like Adolf Hitler to me. Alice Weidel wants peace, but she doesn't want mass migration and these people coming in and killing Germans. She's actually pro-German, and they call that Nazi. You know, so I guess you have to hate the Germans, just like Annalena Baerbock. She basically came right out and said that she hates the Germans. She doesn't care about the Germans, about how they feel. So I guess that's what they call is true German, is hating Germany. It makes no sense to me, but I guess that's how these. I think that's what even J.D. Vance and Trump and a lot of people, that's what they're getting at. You know, how can you hate your people? You can hate your country, and that is called patriotism for Germany. It doesn't make any sense. I guess that's what it's like pretty much Europe-wide, I think. By the way, that is the British Embassy right over there, people. I think the French Embassy is maybe right over here too, around the corner. Just so you know, you're going on a tour as well here. Like I said, it's just around the corner from the Kupaliska metro stop, which is the central metro stop in Minsk. There you can switch from the red line to the blue line, and I think you can even go to can you go to the green line or not? I don't know. You can get to the green line at the train station, which is Leninplatz, and you can also get on at Frunzinskaya. You can transfer to the green line, from the red line to the green line. So I don't know, but I'll tell you, in truth, let me see if I can get in here and duck away. It's less for you guys to see, but I'm out of the wind and out of the snow. Maybe. Looks like an inner corridor, kind of, in a way. I think one of these might be the French embassy. Well, let's walk around in front and find out here. But what was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. I guess this is an inner corridor here. That might be the French embassy right up here. I don't know if I can get around to the front from this side. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Well, I should have mentioned as well. I don't know. I wrote it here, but it wasn't in relation to what Kellogg was saying about trying to split Russia up from their allies. But the alliance looks like I can't get out of here. But the alliance with Russia, they just recently signed an alliance with Iran, and that is not like a mutual defense clause like Article 5 in NATO. What it is that if some other country is making war on one of the other ones, like say if somebody's making war on Iran, like for example the United States or Israel or both, that Russia will not in any way aid those countries. So it's not really any kind of a beneficial thing much at all. So as long as you know that, it's not really a defense pact. I don't know. And Russia should probably stress that in these negotiations, because if they're going to try to split Russia away from all their other people. And one of the things that kind of gets me is, the United States is also, they're starting what is this called? IMEC it's called. And it's an alternative to, what do you call it, for the Belt and Road thing that China is coming up with. And I don't know, it starts in Mumbai, India, and then it goes like through Saudi Arabia, and then has to have Israel. So Haifa and Israel, and then I think it's supposed to end, so to speak, in Greece. And so the United States is going to have to make good friends with India, or maybe India will go along with this anyway. They have to have at least some cordial relationship with India, if it's going to start there. And also Saudi Arabia. So that's why Trump is kind of being buddies with Saudi Arabia. And, of course, Russia gets along with Saudi Arabia as well. And Greece is, for the most part, a U.S. ally, I would say. Greece will go along with anybody that gives them money, I think. And, but obviously the whole purpose of that is to weaken the Belt and Road from China. Why is it everywhere I go, somebody's coming and disturbing me? So let's walk around here in the front. Maybe it's not quite snowing as hard as it was a minute ago. Look at Merry Christmas, everybody. Makes you wonder. But I don't know. Some of the stuff I was saying here. Oh, Brian Berletic. I should mention Brian Berletic. I saw a video from him. If you don't know Brian Berletic, his site is the New Atlas. He's a former Marine and military analyst. Very good stuff. And he's suspecting that a lot of this that's going on here, with this whole geopolitical thing, is that that this is just another, what Trump is trying to do with this peace agreement in Ukraine is just start up another Minsk 3.0, whereby they're going to put troops there on the ground. The United States says, they're not going to have any troops in that area, but Trump wants to send troops to guard the mineral resources, supposedly. And the other ones are supposed to be probably from NATO countries, but not NATO troops. Figure that one out. And Brian Berletic is suspecting that what they're going to do is they're just going to have this there while Ukraine and maybe even these countries can build up a lot of weapons and troops again to provoke Russia until they can get another war going, because they make a lot of money in war. As you know, that's some people say that that's the whole purpose, is the wars, to keep the wars going. And that's maybe what it's going on in with this meeting starts tomorrow in Paris, is how do they keep the war going so they can keep on making money. And Zelensky, of course, he's really pissed off too. The only way he would want the war to end is when it's mostly on his terms, you know. And I don't know, to a certain extent some of these things might just happen. Who knows? You know, we have to wait and see. Like I said, this negotiations start tomorrow. Starts in Europe, which is nothing important anyway, because they don't really matter. But what's going to happen between Russia and the United States? You know, that's going to be interesting. Trump says he will be there, but I don't know if it's going to be just Trump and Putin. He says that it's going to be him and Putin, but maybe it's going to be their representatives. I'm not going to say anything on this video, as you know, because sometimes these people say things and it's not exactly what they say they are. Not even Donald Trump. So some reporter asked Donald Trump, said, do you think that Putin is going to attack Europe, you know, after this, you know, is over and all that? And Trump said no. He said, I don't think that, not even a little bit. You know, obviously they're not. You know, I mean, I think what this is, I don't know if, you know, really, I don't really know if Scholz is so incredibly stupid or scared, like a scared chicken, or any of these guys. It makes you wonder if any of them are really dumb. I think they're just saying this for public consumption to get their people scared so that they keep dumping money, or that they'll allow them to keep dumping taxpayers' money into weapons, because like I said, they make a lot of money from that. So I guess they're taking their people for really stupid, and maybe Vance, maybe Trump, maybe that they find this stuff really disgusting and they don't like it either, you know, to fleece their people. Trump does seem to have a soft spot for common people, so if that is true, maybe that's making him sick when he sees people are having to struggle because the governments are stealing all their money so that they can get richer, and then they can put it into little programs that they like. Just guessing. So, but another famous guy here. You know, there's plaques all over the place. Here's another one I just walked right past. I'll show you these guys. I guess a lot of famous people lived in this building here. Maybe this was a, you know, and it's kind of, I don't know, I didn't look at years, 1953. This might have been just since World War II. Might have been built in the Stalin era, because most of Minsk was completely destroyed, you know, and a lot of this stuff. So a lot of it was rebuilt, obviously. So this looks kind of like a real cold place. Don't want to walk this way. Where do I want to walk? I don't want to even be here. Another guy, whoever that is. There's some of you that watch this that are living in Belarus, and maybe you even know some of these people. Not personally, maybe, but but you know who they are on these plaques and this. Boy. But I'll tell you what, if it might be that Brian Berletic is right, and I don't think Russia is going to fall for this. They're not going to agree to having a whole bunch of troops stationed there, because that was the whole reason for the start of the war anyway, is because they wanted to put Ukraine into NATO, and they were pumping Ukraine up with weapons and things. So why would they want now another military there? And Zelensky, he came out and he was saying total BS, that Russia is putting 150,000 troops in Belarus, and says, oh, it's just for training. But that's not true. That's not true at all, you know. So what about the 1 million troops that Ukraine has? So one thing he said that is true, I think a lot of the beginning of the special military operation, you know, on the very first day or days, a lot of the planes left from Belarus, of course, and he was saying that, but since then it's not really, nothing is coming from Belarus. I don't know if Lukashenko knew this or was told that that was going to happen. I have no idea. It's none of my business anyway. But if this thing does come to an end, you know, the biggest question, as far as I'm concerned, is what are they going to do about some of these other places like Odessa and Kharkiv, even Transnistria, maybe even Kiev itself? You know, a lot of the beginning of Russian history started in Kiev. Some people would even say that is the beginning of Russian history. It's kind of like a first capital of Russia was Kiev. It may not be true, but there was Novgorod as well. I think maybe that's even older, but I don't know. It's just what some people say. But anyway, it has a lot to do with Russian history as a Russian city. So is Odessa. Everybody knows that. Catherine the Great sort of thing. And Kharkiv as well. And, you know, these are a lot of people there that are ethnic Russians. And so is Russia going to make some sort of a deal to where they do not, you know, this is what I'm getting at, where they do not have any kind of control over what's happening in those cities. And then even in the past, the Ukrainians were killing people that were ethnic Russians. Anybody that had any sympathy and did not submit and say, you know, even if your whole ancestry comes from Russia, you have to say, I denounce everything Russian and I am not Russian. I mean, that's what they're doing even in some of these Baltic countries. You know, Kaya Kallas, her place. You know, and what is she? She's some great leader, but they have 22% inflation while she was the Prime Minister of Estonia. Great leader. I don't know. That's another story though. Okay. But something I didn't mention also is Habeck. He was having like, I guess it's I didn't see it, some great big meltdown about Vance and Trump and all that sort of a thing on television, and the Russians were showing it over here, but I didn't see it. I don't know. So, let me get out of this stuff. The snow is blowing right in my eyes and stuff here. Yeah, and part of this I mentioned here, I just wrote it because I was jumping ahead. But Ursula von der Leyen, oh, look out. She's going to be part of this. Wind is blowing here too. Ursula von der Leyen, she's going to be there in Paris as well. And I can't see, there's no light here. But yeah, and somebody also asked Trump, I think it was in the same interview, when he said that he doesn't believe that Russia is going to invade Europe, and that's actually pretty ridiculous. You know, it's like, has Russia ever invaded Europe? No, they never have. In how many thousands of years? So why are they going to do it now? It's like, what, does Russia need more territory? Pretty stupid thought. You know, these guys, like I said, they're just trying to fool their people so that everybody starts putting more money into, or they can steal more money. It's just like the climate thing. Steal money from people, you know, and the politicians, they can have their comfortable lifestyle after that. So anyhow, but let's see. There's not that much more I want to say. You know, I don't want to, because it's just too cold out here. My fingers are all freezing. Like I said, it's minus something or other. I think it's minus 10. You know, and it's not very comfortable at minus 10. You know, minus 5 is not so bad. Minus 10, that's, you know, when there's any little bit of wind, makes it even much worse, even a little bit. So I guess I'm going to end. And I don't know. I was going to go to a shopping mall and walk through a shopping mall, maybe talk then as well, but I want to do a video maybe in showing the shopping malls. Mostly that's just to get subscribers, because it seems like a lot of people, they like that sort of thing. I went through the metro, and maybe somebody posted it on a site or whatever, because I was going in through the newer metros, and I got 300 and something, maybe 400 views, I don't know. Wow, that's viral for me. And it used to be that people, I would get 100 people to view, like on these news things here. So I started doing news instead of doing around traveling. And now I don't get that many people that watch even the news things. So I guess I'm getting really good. But some of you that do watch, you know, a lot of you are people. Maybe it's I let too much of my thinking, you know, come through, and maybe my little philosophy or whatever, and a lot of Only people that feel the same way are the same ones that watch this show. I'm just guessing, my channel. But I don't know. Like I keep saying, a lot of this is a therapy for me. I kind of sick of what's going on in the world, and I want to get it off my chest for the most part. I don't know. Anyway, I'll end. Looks like it actually looks beautiful. Looks really beautiful out there. These big trees, you know. Too bad you guys can't be here. Even if it's cold, I gotta put my hands in my pockets at least. So, I guess I'll sign off, and I'll see you guys on the next one. And thanks a lot for joining me. So, bye-bye.